Okay, and so I just finished the reading like 5 minutes ago, and I just thought I would sit in silence for a little bit. Oh, look at the little butterfly right here. I hope it gets in the camera. Maybe not. But anyways, um, I was actually thinking about this yesterday. I was washing dishes, and like washing dishes, cleaning really is a form of meditation for me. Because meditation is practically anything. You don't have to sit in like crisscross applesauce, and I mean you can. That's a really good way to do it as well. But walking is meditation for me, or just meditation is anything that doesn't require any mental effort. Okay, like you don't really have to do anything. It's automated, and your mind can literally just like wander and drift. Okay. People think an idle mind is bad. It's actually one of the most beneficial things you can do for yourself, because then you really start to receive. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. But what this is a random topic, y'all. But nothing is really random, is it? So this is all coming out for a reason. But the topic of schizophrenia came into my mind. Okay, schizophrenia. So yeah, of all things that could pop into my mind, schizophrenia or schizophrenic. And the exact definition, I looked it up, but please look up the definition. I'm like always tell y'all this: never take my word for anything. Do your own research, okay? Never just believe what I say or what anyone else says. But it's something about um it alters your state, like it alters your senses, how you feel, how you perceive things. It basically is a distortion of reality, so they say. Okay, so people say. All right, and most people who are schizophrenic are considered to have mental illness. Okay, I'm saying this because I feel like maybe there's someone in your family, in someone's family, which I feel like everyone, in almost everyone's family, they have somebody who like suffers with some form of mental illness, and I feel like schizophrenia is one of them. Okay, or maybe you have a friend or something. Anyways, get to the point, because Spirit's like you about to go off. All right, thank you, ground me. Okay, so there's something about changing your perspective about schizophrenia, because everyone who is diagnosed with schizophrenia, they are not mentally ill. Okay, I don't know why this is coming out right now, but it needs to come out. So they're telling me I'm gonna have to break it down in a way for you guys to like really understand what I'm saying, because I can easily go left and then I'll be seen as crazy. So they're like, ground it first and then explain it. So, okay, I'm getting states. States. We're gonna start with states. Okay. Thank you. Got you. Okay. So this is what we're gonna do, because it's complex, but it's not. It's Let's just start. So this is all about. Let's say you and your friend, you have a friend, okay? Let's say you guys grew up in Kansas. I'm getting Kansas, okay? On a farm in Kansas, right? That's all you know. Kansas. You've never been to any other state. You've never been outside of your town. Basically, you only know Kansas, okay? Um let's just say you've never been out of that state. Okay, so you only know Kansas, the state. You still got 49 states. Keep that in mind. Okay, and we're just talking about America. Okay, if you're not in America, do this to your country. Okay, but we're talking about one province or one part of the country. Okay, moving on. Let's say for you, this friend, one of you guys stays in Kansas, stays in that state, and the other goes to New York City. Okay, they go to New York City, and they start talking about they go to New York City, they experience New York, they see all of these, things, like they see different people, they see different architecture, they just see different things that do not exist in Kansas. Okay, stay with me. Okay, I promise this is going somewhere. So you have the friend who goes to New York, and you have the friend that stayed in Kansas. This friend has now experienced two different states. I'm using state for a reason, okay? So stick with me. I promise this is going somewhere, okay? Because we're not only talking about physical states. The analogy I'm giving you is saying states, but I'm talking about mental states, all right? For those who get it, get it. All right. So your friend goes to New York City and they like witness skyscrapers and they witness the subway, the train. They witness out like Central Park. You know, they witness like there's a town or there's boroughs. There's a borough that's called Brooklyn. There's a borough that's called Staten Island. There's a borough that's called Queens, Manhattan, Bronx, whatever, so on and so forth, right? Okay, and this friend goes back to Kansas, right? And starts talking to the friend who never left that state. And they start talking about this stuff. And the friend who never left Kansas is like, what are you talking about? Like, have you lost your mind? That stuff doesn't exist. Like, it's not real. Like, what are you talking about? This friend knows for a fact it's real. They've lived it. They've experienced it. Okay? It's real. It's very real. It's just that the friend hasn't seen it. And also, I'm getting dogs. Okay, this is random, but I understand. Thank you. That's why you gave me dogs. You know how dogs can pick up on certain things? Like dogs can pick up on like different certain sounds that we as humans cannot hear. They can also smell things that we can't smell, that we probably don't even want to smell, to be honest. Okay, but they can pick up on different frequencies, so to speak, because it's all frequencies. Schizophrenia is the same thing. That's how it's being shown to me. It's the same thing. It's basically people are living in it. They are able to travel to different states, mental states, okay? Not physical states, mental states, different realities, different frequencies, because schizophrenia is a mental illness that you are in. You can just, they say it's like, you know, it's a distorted reality, but it's a reality nonetheless, because that's like easily calling a dog schizophrenic, because they be barking at shit that ain't there. Or like, you know, they be hearing stuff, their ears go up, but we don't hear anything, but they hear it, and then all of a sudden you see somebody come down the road and they was barking because they heard it long before you did. It's given the exact same thing, okay? So that's why they gave me dogs. I was like, what the fuck, what we talking about with dogs? Okay, they're able to travel to different states. Some people, before they know what it is, they're diagnosed and they're like put in the nut house, and you know they get drugged up and all of this stuff, and which actually caused them to like go crazy, so to speak. But it wasn't understood how it needed to be understood. It wasn't understood in the right context. So if you see that this person is gifted, they're just more open and tapped into an altered state, an altered reality that actually does exist, okay? That's why they gave me the analogy of like the two states, because Kansas does exist and New York City does exist. There are different environments, different realities, but what the friend who went to New York saw and he experienced something that is very real, that actually exists. But it exists in the state of New York. It doesn't exist in the state of Kansas. Let's bring it back to schizophrenia. People who are like schizophrenic, you see them talking and stuff, and you're like, who? You ain't talking, no one's there. They are not in Kansas. They aren't in the reality that you're currently in. They're in a different state, okay? And that state is very real. They are just perceiving it, and you're not able to pick up on it. So to you, it looks like they're crazy. They're nuts. Okay, that's so weird that I got the need to say all of that, but I know that nothing is by accident and nothing is a coincidence. As I say that, there's a bird that's looking, it just landed on this tree and it's looking dead at me. There's another one that just came here. I wish y'all could see it, but anyways, I feel like y'all can take my word for it, because anyways, yeah, they're like literally right here staring at me. And remember how I said like the signs are in nature. This is another thing. Spirit sends me personally like messages, especially with birds, because I like to see birds as angels, right? Oh, thank you. For someone, there's a crossover. There's someone who may have passed away that was schizophrenic, okay, or that was diagnosed with schizophrenia or had some kind of mental illness or whatever, and I feel like they were highly misunderstood. This bird is literally staring right at me, okay? Because spirit sends signs, as I told you guys, like signs are all around us. You don't need cards or anything to do that. Like the world is an oracle, okay? You just have to pay attention to those signs, or some people say omens. But I interpret birds as like angels because they leave feathers, and every time I see feathers in my mind, I see it as like angel wings, you know? So however you interpret things, spirit sends messages that way, like something significant. I don't know, a leaf could mean something very special to you. So if you keep seeing leaves, whatever you interpret that. Thank you. I'm not even gonna do that. By this time, you guys should know that I'm not making this up. But anyways, if you keep seeing leaves or whatever, then whatever interpretation you get for leaves, that's the sign that's how you're meant to interpret it. So things are sent to you in a way that will interpret the meaning that is meant for you to understand. That makes perfect sense. I hope it came out the way that I received it. But yeah. So yeah, this was just a video to give you guys another look, or like another perspective on people who are diagnosed with mental illnesses, because a lot of times they are just tapped into a reality that you are not perceptive or receptive to. Okay? That does not mean that it does not exist. They keep bringing me back to that dog. When you see your dog barking, you don't call your dog crazy. You probably tell it shut up, because it's like barking and you're like, there's nothing there. And then all of a sudden you see that there's something there, and it's like, oh, okay, you were barking because of that. You know, just because you don't understand it, and just because you don't perceive it, doesn't mean it does not exist. And actually, before we wrap up, because we're about to wrap up, there's something about if you actually listen to someone who is diagnosed with some sort of mental illness, they can actually like open your perspective to things, okay? Like they can almost trigger an inner knowing. They're telling me to use that word. Okay, yeah. They can trigger like an inner knowing within you. I'm gonna just leave it at that. There's some conversations that many people are not ready to have right now, so I'm just gonna leave it there. But yeah, that's it. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. That was the message.